Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Alberta News and Views. Pierre Poilievre tabled a non-confidence motion today in the House of Commons. I got a lot of stuff to cover today, so I'm going to try and keep my head on straight and just walk you through this as quick as I can and as painless as I can. Canada is in complete chaos. It's nuts. Here is Pierre Poilievre. He goes on to say, after 9 years of the costly carbon tax coalition of NDP Liberals, time's up. With a carbon tax election, Canadians can choose to axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. Let's bring it home. Here is hopefully the next Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Poilievre.
9 years of the NDP Liberals. Costs are up, taxes up, crime's up, time's up. This government has doubled the cost of housing, doubled the debt, forced 2 million people to the food bank, raised taxes, and now they want a 61-cent a litre carbon tax that will grind our economy to a halt. The good news is, in a carbon tax election, Canadians can axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. Can we bring it home now?
Jagmeet Singh, Sellout Singh, and the Bloc are bonding. They're joining Justin Trudeau, and it is projected that they will vote down this motion and we will not get an election. It's astounding, the divide within the House of Commons, within these politicians, the divide with them and the divide amongst Canadians. The blatant lies are unbelievable that they are not getting called out on it. There is just no justice. And this systemic corruption is so deep. It is so deep that Canadians are all held hostage. Democracy is being held hostage right now because they would much rather keep on getting rich and lining their pockets and just pretty much feeding their own self-interest is what it's come down to. Individual self-interest and ego. It is astounding that they are willing to collapse our Canadian society for so little, for nothing. It's disgusting. This is what I'm talking about with the lies in the division. It's gross. This is Jagmeet Singh. Pierre Poilievre will tear down healthcare. There is zero proof or evidence of any of this, of him tearing down healthcare. He constantly says this too, by the way. He's going to tear it down brick by brick until the only way you will get the healthcare you need is if you can pay for it. Someone needs to tell Jagmeet Singh, we already do pay for it. I'm going to show you this in a sec. Everything he does is designed to take from you. There is no proof of this. Zero. And yet he is able to have these press conferences and nobody calls him out on it. Everything he does is designed to take from you and give to the ultra wealthy. Says Mr. Gucci himself, Mr. Rolex, Mr. BMW, Mr. Mercedes, give me a break. We are going to stop him. No, you're not. You can't do anything. You're a sellout. You are dependent on propping up Justin Trudeau and holding Canadians hostage. Sellout Singh complains about absolutely everything that he supports. It's pathetic. He is projected to lose his seat, I believe, in Burnaby South. It's unreal. Listen to this.
Pierre Poilievre will take from patients, from families. He will cut and gut Medicare as we know it. Not only will he cancel dental care, which is now giving millions of families and seniors the opportunity to get the dental care they need, he will end pharmacare and tear down healthcare brick by brick until the only way you will get the care you need is if you can afford to pay for it. As we have just seen, he would rather fight with nurses than hire more of them. Everything Pierre Poilievre does is designed to take from you and give to the ultra wealthy. There's a battle ahead of us.
Okay, I'm good with that. British Columbia is Liberal NDP, has been for years. It is broke. British Columbia is flat broke because of these policies. It will never, ever end. Socialism, Jagmeet Singh is a socialist, big time. Socialism only works until you run out of other people's money. It does not work. Healthcare is not free. It never has been free. Ever. Canada's total health spending was expected to reach $344 billion in 2023, or $8,740 per Canadian. Now, do you think you spend $8,740 per year on doctors or medical anything? Because that's how much you would be saving as an individual if we had a two-tier system like every other successful healthcare system on the planet. It is crazy that the Liberal NDP government insists on this collapsed healthcare system that they say is free, because it is the farthest thing from free. It's crazy. $344 billion. That's about 12.1% of our GDP, making Canada a top spender among OECD countries. More than half of healthcare spending goes to only 3 areas: hospitals, drugs, and physicians. That's it. That's where all of this money is going. Now, our healthcare system in Canada has collapsed. All you need to do is go on the Google machine and type in Canada's healthcare system has collapsed, and you will get at least 20 years of articles and explanations on how it will collapse, and in 2024 how it has collapsed. Because all of the money, it's systemic corruption. All of the money is being embezzled in the hospitals, the drug companies, and the doctors, the physicians. It is unsustainable. It is and Justin Trudeau and pretty much all the premiers, they have all cut back funding because it is bloated and it is all a waste. When Jagmeet Singh says all of these lies, always remember that dental and pharmacare has already, all the provinces already had dental and pharmacare programs. All Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh did is they just took them and rebranded them and created their own system, but they have always been there. They're not going anywhere. So when he says that Pierre Poilievre is going to cut it, there's nothing to cut. It will always be there because we have benefits and social programs set up by the provinces already. It's unreal. Don't believe any of this crap. Continuing on. Here is Justin Trudeau being asked about government bailout for Bell Media and pretty much all media in Canada. They are flat broke as well because Canada is broken. He's asked about a bailout and you're going to enjoy this. Listen to what he says about independent media. And sorry about the quality. It's not me.
Subsidiary CTV pursues a biased news agenda because it's hoping to get a bailout from your government. What's your reaction to those comments?
One of the big conversations we're having here at the UN, certainly amongst all our allies, is how important it is to stand up for democracy. We know that democratic values and principles are under attack around the world from authoritarians, from far right-wing populists, from a whole bunch of people who don't particularly want to see strong and thriving free democracies. Part of the targets of attacks on democracies is on a free, independent media, is on the work that professional journalists do to hold governments and people in power to account and inform Canadians and inform citizens about what's going on in their democracies. I, as you well know, have often disagreed with some of the conclusions that media has been opining on from time to time, but in the conveying of facts, in the challenging people in positions of authority or who seek positions of authority, it's absolutely essential that we always defend the freedom of and independence of the media. And politicians who deliberately undermine the legitimacy and the hard work by professional journalists are not standing up for democracy, are certainly not standing up for freedom.
Justin Trudeau is describing himself. He introduced online censorship. He rammed it through and nobody wanted it, and everybody warned him about it to not do it because all media would end up going broke. And they are broke now. They are all dependent on government subsidies or bailouts. They cannot survive on their own because of his censorship that he is forcing. Right now is the second reading for another online censorship bill, C-63, which is if the government doesn't like what you have posted online, they can arrest you for life in prison. Yes, for life. And it is all under the disguise of protecting the children, of course. And the online censorship bill before that was supposed to be so it protects Canadian content, which in fact, all it did was destroy Canadian content. The number one podcast in Canada right now, believe it's the top 10. They're all American. All of them are American. All of independent media in Canada is being throttled or shadow banned or just straight up banned because of the Liberal NDP government. Continuing on.
Kelly Malone, the Canadian Press. So President Biden in his address reflected on his decision this summer to take his name off the Democrats' ticket, telling leaders some things are more important than power and telling them to think about the people you serve. What is your takeaway when you're facing a non-confidence vote at home and the NDP pulled from the supply and confidence agreement?
Well, listen, obviously the Conservatives are very much thinking about power right now. I'm thinking about how we can best help Canadians. I'm thinking about how to put the best balance sheet in the G7 in service of Canadians, to invest in Canadians. Confident countries invest in their citizens. Right now, Pierre Poilievre is offering cuts. He's telling Canadians that the best way to get through these difficult times is to cut services and programs that Canadians rely on, to cut investments in technologies of the future, cut investments in jobs. Confident countries invest in themselves, and what we're seeing is countries around the world are investing in Canada. Companies around the world are investing in Canada in record numbers because they have confidence in Canadians. This government is investing in Canadians because we have confidence in Canadians' ability to get through this. It's just Pierre Poilievre that doesn't want to invest in Canadians, wants to cut the services, the programs, the investments that Canadians are going to rely on to build success into the coming years. And that's what I'm going to stay focused on.
So when Justin Trudeau says that confident countries invest in their citizens, he's actually, what he means by that crap is taxpayer dollars, your money, investing. It's not investing. It's supporting. He's using taxpayer dollars to support the millions of people that he is bringing into the country. He is spinning it and calling it an investment. He is investing in companies to come to Canada. Those are subsidies. Those aren't investments. He spent billions of dollars to lure countries to come into Canada and do business because without the billions of dollars as a bribe, they're all going to the United States and Mexico. There is a reality right now on the Canadian economy, and it isn't good. September 17th, 2024, the federal debt to GDP ratio has exploded due to pandemic spending. And the government's strategy of issuing long-term debt isn't just risky, it's setting up for a devastating uppercut that could send the economy crashing to the canvas. Reducing fiscal spending is a matter of economic life and death. Now, that line right there is extremely important, and I'll tell you why in a sec. Investing in Canadians is not working because our productivity is collapsing. It's not investing anymore. It is supporting. We are supporting people to be unproductive in Canada. They need to be cut off so they start getting productive. Doug Ford said, people need to get off their ass and start working because productivity must climb. It is the only way to spend for the nonsense that is Justin Trudeau. So reducing fiscal spending is a matter of economic life and death. When Justin Trudeau talks about Pierre Poilievre making cuts, I'm going to show you the reason why Pierre Poilievre needs to make the cuts. The Canadian economy is facing significant challenges as the private sector struggles under the weight of high government spending during the COVID-19 pandemic and rising interest rates. While the public sector has grown substantially, government by 40%, creating an illusion of stability, private sector growth has stagnated and consumer debt levels remain dangerously high. Any growth that we have ever seen in the economy and GDP is because of immigration. It is an immigration economy. Now, how it works is the immigrants come in, taxpayer dollars, support that, they go out and spend it. It's a government bailout, is what it is, but it's hidden under the illusion of immigration and under the illusion of public sector growth. The government has grown by 40%. It's ridiculous. So to avoid a looming economic crisis, Canada must rein in fiscal spending. Cuts. Pierre Poilievre is going to have to make cuts. Address the disparity between public and private sector growth. He is going to can and cut the bloat, which is the government, and find a sustainable path forward amidst rising unemployment and economic vulnerabilities. He has to kickstart people, which is creating powerful paychecks, because he needs to get the productivity rolling. He needs to get rid of taxes. So when Justin Trudeau says Pierre Poilievre is going to make cuts, yes, Pierre Poilievre has to make cuts. And every economist is saying that. Everything that Pierre Poilievre is accused of doing that is so bad must be done. It is the only way that Canada will avoid an economic collapse, a complete collapse. And every major economist is saying this. And Justin Trudeau refuses to believe that. I'm going to keep you updated with as much as I can when I can. All of you out there, like, share, and take care.